I think I'm good. I think we're good. I think it was just too early. Hey guys, can you see me? Can you hear me? I think we're on. Are we there? Anybody see me? Okay, yay. Who's, oh, Nancy, good. Nancy sees me. Raya, 11 on. Who's that? Where are you? Where are you? Do I know you? Yay. She's on, he's on, whoever that is. Working on it. Oh, Caroline's here across the room. Yay, okay, so we're on, good. We had a little technical glitch. No worries. Okay, as always, I'm gonna ask you guys to, if you don't already have a couple of bed pillows, just regular pillows will work great. A sofa pillow will also work great. And if you have a blanket or a towel, we will be using them tonight too. So if you're ready, you can go ahead and get comfy. I'm going to suggest lying down with your feet on your pillows and just going for it. You can also take your towel or your blanket and roll it up ever so slightly and place it under your neck. And just get comfy. We'll start in just a few minutes. Let's see who else is here. Who else is here? Okay. Oh, hi, Bruce. Bruce Belt from college. Yay. Hi, Bruce. You made it. I hope you have a couple of pillows because it's going to be comfy, cozy. I'm going to turn off the music so YouTube doesn't get mad at me. All right. Welcome to Nightcap Yoga, Quarantine Edition. How is everybody? I will check periodically to see who else is here. But just if you can figure out the chat function, just give me a word or a phrase that expresses how you're doing. It can be very truthful. This practice today is all about Satya. Satya is truth. In the yogic tradition, it's one of the 10 precepts, the yamas and the niyamas. And so we're all about truth here. So give us a truthful appraisal of your well-being as we begin this practice. So if you're just joining me for the first time, my name is Connie Bowman. I teach in Maryland. I'm currently quarantining in Delaware on the bay near the beach because it's beautiful here. And I'm really grateful to be able to do this. And I, just as a little disclaimer, a little warning, my son-in-law and daughter have come to join us, and he, shout out to Austin Colby. He worked me out yesterday. We did a leg workout, and no, it was 2 days ago. And my legs are really sore today. I tried to walk and I bicycled a little bit to work them out, and they're still sore. So we're going to do a lot of stretching of the legs, which is super good for us anyway. So as I said, if you have your pillows, get them all. I suggest that you make a little mountain of your pillows so we can get our legs above our heart, which is really good for the nervous system. Really good for the circulation, especially if you've been on your feet. And then just sink on down to your mat. Maybe you have your towel or your blanket underneath your neck just to make you feel really good and cozy and comfy, because this is all about helping us to feel better. So once you get there, just let your legs splay out if that feels good for you. And maybe tuck your shoulders a little bit so you get a little bit of broadening in the chest. And then let your eyes close. And then take one hand and place it on top of your belly and one hand on your heart. And just take a moment to notice your body. Notice how you're feeling. And just tune into that sensation of being alive here. Feel your breath, your natural breath. And feel your heartbeat. All reminders that we are here together, but separately, and we are alive. We'll take one more natural breath. And then release your hands down to your sides. Allow your palms to face up, perhaps in a more receptive position. And then just take a little inventory. Notice your room, the temperature of the air, wherever you are. Notice the sensation of the clothes on your skin. Notice your puppy shaking on the other side of the room. Allow yourself to maybe wiggle and get a little more comfy. And then begin to invite in a deeper breath. So we soften the belly and we inhale to inflate the belly. Let it fill up. You might notice your ribs expand and your chest, your heart space grows a little broader as well. And as you're ready, exhale slowly and completely. Really good. We'll take a few more breaths here together, finding the pace that works for you. Inhaling belly, ribs, and chest. And exhaling softly through your nose, chest, ribs, and belly. Maybe slowing down a little bit more, if that works for you. Maybe your breath is a little bit faster. Be truthful with yourself. Make this practice work for you. Whether we're trying to stretch out sore muscles or just trying to de-stress. You have to be truthful about what works for us, especially in these more challenging times. Take another nice big deep inhalation and exhale it out. Beautiful. And as you're ready, you can blink open your eyes and just hug your knees into your chest. Just notice how your back's feeling, maybe rock from side to side. And then take your feet and just unceremoniously move your pillows out of the way, just to the side, and extend your legs all the way to the end of your mat. Point your toes and reach your arms overhead and get super long. Take a big breath in, fill up from toes to fingertips. And then as you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest and get small. Inhale to lengthen and reach, pointing your toes, reaching far overhead. And then exhale, squeeze your knees into your chest again. Good, one more, just moving with your breath. And if you notice you have furniture or obstructions, just push them out of the way, gently. Everything's gentle at Nightcap Yoga. Good, and as you're ready, we're gonna extend the left leg all the way to the end of the mat. Keep that right knee pulled into your chest. And just for fun, take some ankle circles on that right leg. So the fun thing about Nightcap Yoga is the sun starts to go down, so we get this gradual darkening outside, and then as it gets a little darker outside, you might be able to see me a little bit better. I don't know if that's fun for you, but it's always challenging to have a nice view. Take your ankle in the other direction. A nice natural view behind you, which I really like. So enjoy the view while you can, soon it'll be dark. Good, okay. So pause here, take a hold of your shin or the front of your shin somewhere on your right leg. And flex the left toes toward the ceiling. And then we're just gonna externally rotate this right leg. So it's gonna be, the right hip is gonna open up just a little bit. Just notice how your hip is feeling. Be super gentle. And just open it up, just ever so slightly. See how that feels. And then bring your knee back to your chest, hug it in again, and then externally rotate again. And then maybe take a hold of your ankle and somewhere down near your inner thigh of your left leg, just place that foot. And so hopefully your pillows are not too far away. You can take one of your pillows and tuck it underneath this right knee. And then you're in a tree pose. Supine tree pose. So just let this right hip open up. You might not need the blanket. You might feel a little bit more of an external rotation without a blanket or a pillow there. But come back to your breath. We'll take 2 breaths here. Just letting that hip open up. One more breath in. Good. And then as you exhale, just gently is the word of the evening, hug that right knee back into your chest. And then slowly release it down to the floor. And just take a moment, close your eyes and tune into this right hip. Just notice if the right hip is a little closer to the floor, maybe a little bit more open. And then take your pillow to the other side or your blanket. And then hug that left knee into the chest. So the breath is still moving slowly. In and out. So when you're ready, we're just gonna take that left leg and just externally rotate it so you can feel that hip opening. Just notice how it feels. So if you happen to have a brand new hip, you might notice a different sensation than if you're still operating with the same hip as you have for many, many years. And just kind of give it a little external rotation there, then hug it in again, and we're going to gently guide it into that tree pose so that left foot comes to the inside of that right inner thigh. And then you can take your hand to this right hip, notice if that hip is coming up a little bit, and just gently coax. You can even give your left quadricep a little massage here, just gently coax it toward the floor. And then rest your arms wherever they're comfortable and take 3 breaths here. You can close your eyes. Just let that hip open up, just gently. Nice big full deep inhalation into the belly. Nice exhalation all the way out of the body, releasing the air. So good for the nervous system. Every time we breathe deep, we Send a signal to that nervous system, our nervous system that for some of us has been on overdrive, especially if you're working in healthcare or taking care of little ones at home. We need this slow, deep breath to send signals that it's okay to rest and digest and relax. So that's probably your 3 breaths. So take that left hand and just gently guide this left knee back up. Give it a nice big hug. Yes, appreciating your leg. And then reach long again, reach overhead. And then let it go, shake it out. Let it all go. Good job. Hug your knees into your chest again. This time we're going to work the outer hips. We're going to take some knee circles, my favorite, giving your sacrum a nice little massage as you rotate, drawing circles on the ceiling. This is my favorite. I'm serious. I have a lot of favorites, but this is my real favorite, my truthful favorite, because you get a little massage of the lower back, the sacrum. Imagine you're drawing circles on the ceiling, and then go the other direction. See if you can notice a difference. One more pass, drawing a circle. And then we're going to keep our knees right where they are, hugged in. And take your arms wide, so move accoutrement out of the way. Keep them close by. And then draw your arms out to a T. And we're going to take just a few twists from side to side. So as you exhale, take your legs over to the right. And inhale back up to center. Exhale them over to the left. And inhale them up to the center. Notice how that feels. Take it slower than I'm moving. If that works better for you, make it your own truthful practice. So right and center and left and center. We might not go all the way down to the floor. We're still warming up. I'm totally sliding down my mat. And this is the last one. Give yourself a big old hug. And if it feels okay with your lower back, bring your nose to your knees. And notice how that feels. And if your neck is bothering you, don't do it. Keep your neck on the floor. And take one breath here. And then exhale and start to rock forward and back. We're going to end up seated. So if this doesn't work for you, there's always options. So forward and back, you're getting that massage on your spine until you just come up to a comfortable seat. So find your seat. And once you get to your seat, take your towel or your pillow, either one. Create a little perch for yourself, a little throne. And then find an open, an easy pose with your hips, your nice open hips, nice and comfy, snuggle in. And then let your eyes close here. So we've changed positions, we've transitioned. Let's be gentle with ourselves. We've gone through so many transitions over this last, I don't know how many weeks. So let's just be very gentle with ourselves. Take a big breath in, soften your face. Swallow in your throat to soften that throat. And then take a nice big breath in. Draw your shoulders up to your ears. And then let them loop around back, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Take another one as you inhale. Squeeze the shoulders up and then draw them back and down. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Back and down. And take your hands wherever they're comfy, somewhere around your legs, the floor. And as you inhale, take your nose up toward the ceiling, keeping those shoulders snuggled on down. And as you exhale, chin comes to chest. Sitting up nice and tall, inhale, lift that nose up to the ceiling, opening up that throat chakra. And exhale, chin to chest. One more lift. And exhale, chin to chest. And just stay there for a moment. Allow your hands to come to your heart center. This is Anjali Mudra, prayer pose. And with your palms pressed into your sternum, into your heart center, sitting up nice and tall with your chin still bowing. Allow yourself to think of an intention for this practice. So maybe you wrote a word or a phrase in that chat box if you could figure out how to chat that describes how you're doing. But what would be your intention or your prayer for this practice? Yoga is a good way to rebalance. For me, that's the way I come back to balance in mind, body, and spirit. Creating that intention, and then lifting your chin, finding that easy pose again. Just allow your hands to rest in your lap. So with your chin parallel to the earth and a nice lift of the crown of your head toward the heavens, nice lift of the side body, adjusting your shirt and wiping the dog hairs off your pants. We have 2 dogs here now. Yay, it's joyful. We're going to take a little journey through a mudra and a mantra. And I have a singer on the other side of the room, so I'm hoping she will also join me. And this is a seed mantra, to plant a little seed of perhaps truth for us. And it's the Satya mantra. And it also has a mudra that goes with it. So as we sing the mantra, and you guys sing out, because every time we chant or sing, we open up our throat chakra. So we balance that throat chakra. So feel free to sing out, Louise. So as we are singing each one, the sa, the thumb comes to the pointer finger, or sa. The ta, the thumb meets the middle finger. And the na, the thumb meets the ring finger. And Satanama is the final one, that's pinky and thumb. So it goes like this. We rest our hands gently, we close our eyes, and we chant Satanama, and we're going to do that 13 times. And if I miscount, don't get all, don't get your yoga pants in a knot. I'm going to try to count. So we're going to chant it 13 times, and then we'll whisper it 13 times, and then we'll do it 13 times silently to ourselves. Do your best. There's no perfection in yoga. Here we go. Satanama, 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 And as you complete the silent mantra, just keep your eyes closed, allow your hands to rest, and just notice sensation. Notice your thoughts. And notice your breath. Satanama is a reminder of the cycles of the journey of life. Sa represents, oh God, the infinity. Ta is life. Na is death, or the endings of things. And Ma is the rebirth. Mantra is also good for clarity and focus and memory. And so as you're ready, shake it off. Good. Blink your eyes open and switch the cross of your legs. Might be noticing those hips are getting to feel a little bit more open. So we're just going to take some circles, some nice hip circles going in whatever direction you feel truthfully ready to go in. You might notice that there is also in that seed mantra, there's also the connection to the word Satya that I talked about, that means truth. In the Kundalini tradition, that is they don't say Namaste, they say Satnam, Satnam. So go the other direction. We'll take one more circle, and then we'll release our legs from their bondage. Shake them out, shake them out. Wiggle your feet from right to left, and then bend your knees and take your knees a little bit wider and just give them a little windshield washer. So we're really working those hips, getting them prepared for what's to come. Sometimes we never know what's to come. Sometimes I don't even know what's to come when I'm teaching it. So it'll be fun, I promise. Okay, so as you are ready, we're going to come up to a tabletop. So take your blanket or your towel, smooth out all the wrinkles. Be really, really kind to yourself. And then notice the sun is starting to go down. It's starting to be beautiful. I love this time of night. So take your knees under your hips. Let the tops of your feet rest on the floor and do a little Sophie shake. I was hoping Sophie would come over and say hi, but she seems to like to rest over on the other side. I don't know, when I'm practicing yoga, usually she's with me. Take your hands and spread your fingers nice and wide and let them be right under your shoulders so you have good alignment. And then tuck your belly into your spine and notice how you're feeling. Notice if your shoulders are up towards your ears, draw them down. And try to establish a long line between your tailbone and the crown of your head so that if somebody wanted to have a tea party on your back right now, they could place their teacup there and it would not fall. And then as you're ready, take a big breath in, drop your belly toward the floor and your tailbone and your head raise up toward the sky. Now you're in that lovely cow pose. And then as you're ready, round as you exhale and come into that cat pose. Press the mat away. And inhale again, coming through cow pose. Good. And exhale through cat. Just being gentle with your neck. Chin comes to chest. And then it lifts up slightly. But we're getting a nice stretch of our spine, not really a stretch, but we're lubricating that spine and we're moving with the breath. So if this is all you do, is add your movement to your breath. You're doing yoga. In fact, if all you wanted to do is lay on your mat with your pillows under your legs and breathe, you'd be doing yoga. So let's take one more and round really deeply through that cat pose, drawing the belly into the spine, pressing into the mat. And then exhale as you lift your tailbone, lift the crown of your head, and then come back to neutral. And just because some of us have been writing novels, Sin Mackley, not mentioning any names, let's take our palms and place them on the mat, but facing the fingers toward us. And we'll give a little stretch of our wrist and our forearms. And maybe you lean back just ever so slightly and you start to feel it right away. And maybe you want to back off a little bit. Whatever you do, don't stop your breath, but notice if as things get a little more challenging, your breath gets a little choppy, and see if you can intentionally slow down the breath. So taking a big, deep inhalation and a nice long exhalation. Maybe you have a little more, you want to get a little deeper stretch and lean back a little bit more. Good. Maybe not. Be truthful with yourself as you turn your palms back forward. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And then we won't be here too long if your knees are getting sore. So if you want to make your way to downward facing dog, you can. But if not, lift your left arm up to the sky and turn your left shoulder toward the left side. And gaze out your window if you have one and see the beautiful light that's happening. It's a light show every night. And then tuck that left hand underneath your right arm and come into this thread the needle pose. The right arm can lift. You can take your wrist for a little circle on that right arm and let your left temple just rest on the floor, keeping those hips squared as much as you can. Breathe in deeply and then exhale that right hand down to the mat. And inhale, lift that left arm up and exhale it back down. Good. We'll do the other side. So inhale that right arm up. Take a gander at it if you can see your fingers, stretching your neck a little bit more. And then exhale, thread it on through. Bring that right temple down to the mat. Try to keep those hips squared, and then if you're ready, inhale that left arm up to the sky, opening up, spreading those fingers nice and wide, getting a stretch in the upper back. Take a nice big breath in, and then exhale that left hand down, and inhale the right arm back up, follow it with your gaze, and exhale, right hand comes back to the mat. Good job. We're going to tuck our toes and lean our hips back and just press a little bit into those toes. Bring your belly into your spine and just get a little stretch of your feet. Take a nice breath here. It's good to stretch the toes and pay attention to every little nook and cranny of our body because our body is always talking to us in some way or another. Some ways are louder than others. Take a nice breath in, come back to table, and then we're just going to gently being the word of the night, lift our hips up into that inverted V, and then press your heels toward the floor. They won't necessarily go toward the floor, and you might have a little bend in your leg. And then take some dog hairs off your yoga pants and walk your dog. Nice big breaths in. And exhales. And if that feels really good and your legs are starting to feel better, mine are, you can shake it out a little bit and come to stillness. Take a breath in, and as you exhale, look forward. Remove your blanket if it's there, your towel, and take a walk to the front of your mat. And take your Feet underneath your hips about, 6 inches apart, 8 inches apart. And find a ragdoll pose. So knees can be bent. If you're still feeling like your lower back is not quite ready, you can bend your knees and then reach for your elbows and frame your head. And just let your head relax. So if you've had any problems with neck or shoulders, just see if you can let that neck dangle and shake it yes and shake it no. Hi, Heather. Heather from Connecticut is here. Yay. Well, I hope you feel better after this. When you're ready, take an inhale and come to a halfway lift. Find that tabletop position in this halfway lift pose, as though someone was putting a cup of tea on your back now. See if you can get that nice level feeling in your pose. And then exhale and just let your hands come down to the mat and refold, forward fold. Fingertips can come to the mat or shins. If you happen to have blocks, not necessary. Good. So head is under heart now. Beautiful. As you're ready, go ahead and bend your knees a little bit. We're going to rise up. Just one little body part at a time, slowly inhaling as we go, reaching all the way up and looking up. Taking those palms together at the top. And feel the length in the body. So we were doing this as we were laying down. We were lengthened out. Press your feet into the floor. Get your legs involved so you can draw your kneecaps up. You can feel that energy in your legs. And then with your palms touched, see if you can reach up a little bit higher. And then press your palms together and draw them right down to your heart center, pressing the thumbs into the sternum. And take a breath here, release your hands out and come into mountain pose. So fingers are spread wide, the chin is parallel with the floor, the crown is reaching up. And we have this nice wide expansion in the heart center. And just see if you can close your eyes here for a moment. Feel your presence here. Feel your rootedness from the top reaching up and the bottoms of your feet reaching down into the earth. Take a nice big breath in, filling up. From toes to crown, and then exhale it out. Good. Mountain pose. One of the poses that make me feel most grounded, for sure, but also kind of powerful. So I'm going to stand here. I'm going to stand here like a mountain. And try to move me, right? I'm rooted deeply into the earth. But my head is reaching toward the heavens. And my heart is right at the center of it all. So there we go. Take a nice big breath in, reach up high, look up, let your palms touch, and then go ahead, bend your knees as much as needed and swan dive forward. Into that forward fold again. Maybe your legs are ready to straighten a little bit more. If your hamstrings are starting to feel a little more stretchy, mine are. Inhale, come into that flat back. And then exhale, fold again, refold. Inhale, root to rise, reaching up, looking up. And then take your palms, clasp them, and press them toward the ceiling. Take a breath in and lean to the right. Maybe even look left. Exhale back to center. And then inhale, take it over to the other side, the left side. If you went left first, then go right. There's no right or wrong. Come back to center. Lift up, reach up, and then bring your palms back behind your back. Clasp them back there. and scooch them down behind you, nice and low. So you have that broad chest, shoulders are opening up a little bit more. Inhale, lean back, look up, and then exhale, fold forward. Let your arms raise as much as they are able, stretching those shoulders. Again, our head is under our heart. We're getting all that blood flow to the brain. Not only did we exercise our brain with our mantras, but now we're getting all that good blood flow toward our brain. Rock from side to side if you like that. That's what my companion is doing over there. And then find stillness, release your arms, and then slowly rise up, all the way up. Reaching up again, letting your palms touch, and then drawing them down to your heart center. Good job. Take a moment in mountain pose with your hands at heart center and just close your eyes. Take a breath in. Feel your aliveness. And then release your hands out into mountain pose, spreading your fingers nice and wide, softening your face. Maybe a little smile comes to your lips. And see if you can imagine yourself to be that mountain that you are, unmovable, proud, sturdy. So we're building resilience, whether we like it or not, right? As we move through this quarantine, we are building resilience. And our yoga practice can help us. First, we have to be truthful with ourselves. What are we capable of today? What are we able? What are we desiring? How are we being called to move through this? Take one more breath in, and then blink your eyes open, shake all that out. We're going to take a little more movement, and then we're going to do some yummy stretches. So come to the front of your mat, spread your toes nice and wide, root down, get really rooted and grounded. Maybe have a little bend in your knees. Inhale, reach to rise, look up, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into your flat back. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, reach up. And exhale, hands to heart center. Good. We've got that down. Let's root to rise again, reaching up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, make your half table. And then exhale, take your hands to the floor and step your right leg back. Come into a runner's lunge. Runner's lunge. Get nice and long. Rock forward and back, stretching that right toe a little bit more. And then lower that knee to the floor. Lower that foot to the floor. And rise on up. Come up into Anjaneyasana. And lean forward so that you can feel this hip flexor getting a stretch here. Draw your shoulders back and down. And then as you're ready, inhale your hands up, reaching up to frame your ears, fingertips reaching toward the heaven. So we're really rooted with this right leg, and we're getting a nice stretch, and yet we're still reaching. Take a nice breath in, maybe look up. And as you're ready, take your right hand down to the inside of this left leg and just spin around to your left. Take a twist towards your left. You might take this left arm back behind you, reaching for your right hip crease, and open up that left shoulder, coming into a half bind. Good. One more breath in. And as you exhale, just unwind your bind And straighten that left leg. Lift your left toes towards your nose. Wow, everything's rhyming here today. Unwind your bind, nose to toes. Gosh, what's next? Inhale, lift to lengthen, and exhale, take your nose towards your knee. Take another breath here. Good stretch for the hamstrings. And then as you're ready, we're going to tuck the right toes. We're going to take our hands to frame the left foot, straighten that right leg, and go ahead and step back, downward facing dog. Enjoy your down dog here. Now we can really kind of recommit to this downward facing dog. So let your head and neck and shoulders relax. Press your fingers into the mat so you're really supporting your wrist with your finger joints. And then bend your knees a little bit and press your heels more toward the floor. See if you can get more of a stretch in your calves. Take a nice breath in and a deep breath out. Good. One more breath in and another breath out. Beautiful. On your next inhale, look forward and take a walk, a step, or a jump, whatever you please at your practice, and come into your forward fold. And this time, as you're ready, shake out your wrists and then take your right hand and tuck it under your right foot and let your toes come up towards your wrist. You're going to get a little free massage here. So standing on your hands, it might be a little bit of a balance challenge. Let it be that. See if you can massage your wrists with your toes. That would feel good. Right? One more breath in. And then release your hands from your feet. And then inhale, come into that halfway lift. Exhale, refold. Inhale, rise and reach. This time, take a hold of your right wrist with your left hand and lean over to the left and look right. Pressing equally into all four sides actually of your feet. So think about the toes and the heels and the sides of the feet, pressing into those feet. Especially that right leg that is getting stretched. So, where are we? With our breath, on your next inhale, rise up and switch. Lean over to the other side. See if you can see the sun beginning to set out a window somewhere, maybe if it's on the right side of your room for that. Feel that stretch all the way from the left side of the left foot all the way up to your left fingertips. And on your next inhale, reach up, look up, lift up, maybe lean back a little bit. And on your exhale, pour forward. Bring your fingertips to blocks or the floor. Come into your forward fold. Inhale, coming into your halfway lift. Make that tabletop. And then exhale. Bring your fingers to the floor and step your left foot all the way back. Make it a really nice long runner's lunge. And then rock back and forth. Stretching the quadricep. And that hip flexor and all those muscles in that left leg. And then find some stillness. Lower that knee to the floor. Lower the top of the foot to the floor. And then come on up. Lean forward here in this low lunge. And feel that left hip flexor. Breathe in. If it's as tight as mine, you need to breathe. I'm breathing too. We're all breathing together. That's kind of comforting, right? We're all breathing together through this. These cycles. Good. And as you're ready, left hand comes to the inside of that right foot. Just lift that right arm up. Take a twist. Maybe flip your palm if you'd like to take that half bind. One side might be a little easier to bind. Let's just be truthful. We'll do what we can, right? Nice big breath. And then exhale to unwind your bind. Unwind your bind. Here comes the other one. Nose to toes. And here, really lift your toes toward your nose. I am like Dr. Seuss tonight. And then lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, bring your nose towards your knee. Oh gosh. My rhyming has ended. We had a nice little run there. Take another breath in. And a deep exhalation. Good. And then bring yourself forward, tuck your left toes. Bring your hands to frame that left foot and step your right foot back, downward facing dog. Take 2 more breaths here. Let's enjoy this dog. One more big breath in. Good. And exhale it out. And you can bend your knees and think about jumping forward. And if that's not something that's in your practice, just don't even think about it. Be truthful. You can always walk forward. If you're ready, go ahead and jump forward to the front of your mat. Come into that forward fold. And then bend your knees, root to rise, reaching up way high, looking up, leaning back. Good. And then exhale, we're going to come down into a chair pose. So sinking the hips down, feet are about 6 inches apart, or you can bring your toes to touch. Truthfully, it's whatever you like. Sink your hips back, frame your ears. And then bring your arms out into goddess pose. So elbows come wide. So we get this nice wide thing that happens, that broadening of the chest. But here we can really squeeze our shoulder blades together, right? Take a nice big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to take our weight into our left foot. So we want to make sure our toes are facing forward first. Should say that. Weight comes into the left foot. And then lift your right leg up and cross it over your left. And see if you can hug that leg into your right leg into your left leg. So you're wrapping it around. Good. So then take your left arm, wrap it around your right arm, and see if you can get your palms to touch. Maybe the backs of your hands touch. We're coming into eagle pose, if you hadn't already noticed. That was rude. I didn't give you any notice whatsoever. So this is a really good pose. We're squeezing in. We're getting that stretch of the upper back. And we're also balancing also. I said also before. I'm starting to wobble. If you're wobbling, you're human. Good for you. Let that ankle support you and keep your breath. So when things get choppy, when breath gets choppy, it's usually because things are heating up. See if you can slow down your breath. Good. We are going to release this. One more breath in. And on your exhale, fly like an eagle. Lift your right leg up and lift your arms up. Come into half standing mountain pose. So we're still balancing on that left ankle. If you have any ankle injuries, always just be truthful with yourself. Whatever it is you need to do, come out of it when you have to. But if you're ready, take your right hand and reach for that right ankle and come into a quadricep stretch. So stretching that quad. I'm afraid to look. Oh, I did it. Okay. So in yoga, we want to have a drishti, a gazing point, something that's not moving. That helps with the balance. Smooth out the breath. Smooth out the wrinkles on your forehead if you have any. You probably don't. I feel like I do. And smile. Good job. One more breath in. And exhale it out. Shake it out. Take your weight to your right foot and circle your left ankle. Give it a little circle. Good. That should feel good. And come back into mountain pose. So we have two sides. We have to figure this out. Sophie, shake it out. And then sink down into chair pose. This side. We got this. Booty goes down. Gaze lifts. Framing the arms. So take your feet, face them forward here. And breathe, find your breath. And then gently lean your weight into your right leg. Feel the strength of that leg as you lift this left leg and wrap it around the right leg so that your left toes can tuck behind the right leg. And then here we're going to take the right arm over the left. Now, do what you can. Wrap your arms, squeeze your legs together, squeeze your arms, and find your drishti. Find that gazing point. That spot on the wall, preferably not a person. People tend to move. Find something that doesn't appear to be moving, even though we're all really hurtling through space, millions of miles an hour. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. It's stressful. Take another breath in and exhale it out. And see if you can come into standing half mountain pose without falling. I almost fell. Reach your arms up. Lift that knee up. That leg, we're still balancing on this right ankle. Slow down the breath. You can do this. My friend Heather, who teaches at 10 o'clock every morning on Facebook Live, Heather Jefferson Mitchell. She always says, you can do this hard thing. We can do this hard thing. And reach back when you're ready. We'll stretch that quad. So see if you can draw that heel towards your glute and let your knees kind of kiss. As the sun starts its descent, so will we soon. We will be back on the mat. Breath smooth. Smooth out your breath before we come out of this pose. One more breath in. And then exhale it out slowly. Lower that leg. This time, lift that right knee up and take some ankle circles there. Shake it out. Good job. Go the other way. You're doing beautifully. I can tell. I can just tell. Okay. Shake your hips nice and wide. And if you're comfortable, we're coming down to the mat. If you're comfortable with a squat, bring your legs nice and wide. If you want to just skip the squat and come on down, come on down. The price is right. Squeeze your elbows into your inner thighs as you press them out. Kind of press your inner thighs in toward your elbows. It's all about hips and legs and shoulders. Let's face it, it's all about everything in yoga. And shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. All right. Take one more breath in. This is our plan of descent. And when you're ready, take your hands to the floor, take your knees to the floor, and then eventually take your whole self, your belly to the floor. So your knees can come down, tops of the feet can come down, and then slowly lower yourself all the way down to your mat and make yourself a little pillow with your hands. Turn your head to one side and rock out your hips. Breathe here, feeling the breath move through the body, belly pressing into the earth. Notice your heartbeat. You're still alive. So we built some more resilience with those balancing poses. Now let's build a little more flexibility with our back bending. So bring your forehead to the floor and take your arms to either sides of your shoulders and tuck your elbows in, draw them in. And then just press up to a low cobra. Notice how your back's feeling. Be truthful. If this isn't working for you, then back off. Lower down a little bit. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath in. And then slowly lower yourself down. Make a pillow. Turn your head the other way. I won't turn that way because I won't be able to see you. Another breath in. Maybe do the Sophie shake. And then as you're ready, forehead comes back to the floor, but this time the arms go down by the sides. And just like we did before, we're going to reach to clasp our hands behind our back. And then take your shoulders, loop them back again, just like we did. We're gonna counteract bad posture, whether we like it or not, right? Tops of the feet on the floor. Just lift your head and shoulders, and maybe lift your arms off your back. And breathe here, keeping a nice long line with your neck, protecting your neck. Tops of the feet on the floor. Maybe lift up a little bit higher, and maybe not. You're still getting a good back bend. One more breath in, choppy though it may be, and then slowly lower down. Turn your head wherever it feels good, rock it out. Take a nice breath in, exhale it out, maybe sigh it out your mouth. And then one more time, take your forehead to the floor. This time you can take a full locust, which is just coming up, lifting head, shoulders, knees, and toes for real. Or if you'd like to try upward facing bow, you can lift your legs, reach for your ankles, lift your legs, squeeze your shoulders, lift your head and shoulders, knees and toes. Getting that stretch of the back, the quads. Squeezing those shoulder blades together, but keeping the breath. That's one thing we have control over, as long as we're healthy and alive, is our breath. Slow it down. One more breath, full breath in, fill up. Rock a little bit with your breath. Let it move you. And then slowly lower your legs down, lower the tops of your feet, and turn your head in the opposite direction. And feel that heartbeat. Beautiful. So from here, this is where we start getting really comfy cozy. We've been waiting for this. So take a pillow or your blanket, hopefully you don't have to go far, and place it on the right side of your mat. And keep yourself on your belly. Make a little pillow for yourself. And then take your right leg and tuck your pillow under it and come into this sleeping pose. So again, it's another hip opener on one side. And just let yourself be on your mat in this comfy, cozy pose, and especially with a nice bed pillow underneath your knees. You can have your blanket under your knees if that feels good. And breathe here. So this feels super cozy, really nurturing. Let's breathe into the lower back, the middle back, the hips, all the little nooks and crannies. Breathe in, full breaths. Good. One more breath in. And as you're ready, just as gently as you can, take that right leg and extend it back. And then we'll just switch sides. So if you have another pillow on the other side, just set it right where that leg's going to land. And take that left leg and bring it into that sleeper pose. Lower yourself back to the floor. And breathe. Nice and comfy. Take one more breath in. And as you gently exhale, just lower that left leg down. And bring your knees wide as your mat. Bring your toes to touch. And super slowly, as you take your pillows and pile them up for a comfy, supported child's pose, just bring your pillows in, let them hug your belly, and then let yourself sink down into child's pose on your pillows. Letting yourself just melt toward the floor, and close your eyes here. And turn your head to one side. I'll give you a little nod when we're ready to turn to the other side. Just let that back stretch, getting a nice opposing stretch from the back bends. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe your hips can sink back a little bit more, softening the shoulders, softening the face. And as you're ready, we're going to slowly make our way up, move our pillows off to the side, but again, not too far away. And come to your back side. And before we lower all the way down, see if you can get some more dog hairs off your black yoga pants. And then lean back, and we'll come into just a brief little boat pose. So hands come behind the legs. You can flex your toes towards your nose if you like the way that sounds. And maybe lean back, maybe open your arms, get your abs engaged. Maybe look up, maybe look out. Maybe look right, maybe look left. The sun is beginning to set, it's so pretty. As days blend in together, it's just one sunrise and sunset after another. I'm trying to distract you. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. You can straighten your legs if that's in your practice. You can come down a little bit lower if you'd like. And when you're starting to shake like me, slowly lower on down and let yourself just melt into your mat. Good job. Good job, you guys. Okay, so we have a couple more things. So we're going to take our pillows. So you're going to have to decide, everybody's pillows are different thickness. Mine are a little squishy. So I might be able to have 2 pillows under my glutes for a supported bridge pose. So see if you can negotiate that. And let your, see how that is. It might not lift up enough. If you have a block, you can tuck a block up into underneath your sacrum. And then if you're ready, tuck your shoulders underneath and just come into a supported bridge. Your feet can be on the floor. And breathe here. And we're just pausing on our way to a full bridge. So if you'd like to go ahead and lift your hips, tuck your hands underneath you. You can lift up a little bit higher. Or stay where you are. Wherever you are, just be truthful. And then as you're ready, take your knees, take your feet off the floor and go ahead and lift them overhead. Head under heart, feet above heart. Reversing that circulation. So good. for the nervous system. And if you happen to have a wall handy close by, you can let your legs up the wall. That's another nice restorative pose. Good. We'll be here for another few breaths. So let your eyes close. Let your face soften. And just tune in. Feel all the sensations. One more full inhalation. And then exhale your feet down to the floor. Take your pillows off to one side and take one pillow on either side. There we go. And then hug your knees into your chest. And then just drop your knees over to one side so it lands softly and gently on your pillows. Open up your other arm and turn your gaze. And just notice, how are the hips feeling here as we enter into our last couple of poses? How is your breath moving through your body? And how have your thoughts changed, perhaps? Maybe you're paying more attention to your body and your breath, and some of those rogue thoughts have subsided. Yoga means union. Someone's here. Take one more breath in. And then slowly guide your knees up to center. And then let them just fall over to the opposite side, taking your arm out and turning your gaze in the opposite direction. Nice juicy twist here. And just in this pose, see if you can notice if there's any last vestiges of holding on, any resistance to softening. See if you can soften wherever possible. Another big deep breath, filling up belly, ribs, heart space. And then gently exhale as you draw your knees back into your chest. And then take any last movements or poses that might feel good. So a lot of people like happy baby before Shavasana. Kind of gives a little back stretch. Some people like a shoulder stand. Maybe just rock from side to side. And eventually, we are going to end up in the Shavasana of our choice. So there's so many choices when we have all these comfy, cozy props. And my props are really, I love my pillows. They're just the right softness for this practice. And I've got this blanket. So if you have a blanket, you can tuck it under your knees, or if you're cold, you can cover up. Or this is another yummy thing to do with a blanket, is just take it and place it over your belly. And it's like one of those weighted blankets. And it just feels so comforting and good. And then let your feet splay out to the side. And let your eyes close. If you have a clapper, clap off your lights. Those things still exist. Let your arms reach out to the sides. And just soften here. And as I mention different parts of the body, just see if you can bring your awareness there. And with every mention, just soften that body part. We'll start at the crown of the head. Soften the scalp. Relax the eyelids and the cheeks and the jaw. Soften in your throat to relax the throat. And let the shoulders just melt. Softening the arms, the hands, every finger. Softening the belly. Relaxing the hips and the legs, the ankles and the feet. Nothing to do here. Let yourself go. Fear is the cheapest room in the house. I would like to see you living in better conditions, for your mother and my mother were friends. I know the Innkeeper in this part of the universe. Get some rest tonight. Come to my verse tomorrow. We'll go speak to the friend together. I should not make any promises right now, but I know if you pray, somewhere in this world, something good will happen. God wants to see more love and playfulness in your eyes, for that is your greatest witness to him. As you're ready, begin to deepen your breath. And bring small movements to fingers, toes. Turn your head from side to side and gently roll over to one side. Curling up in a fetal position, that symbol of rebirth. And then as you're ready, use the strength of your arms to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Let your eyes stay closed. And just for a moment, notice how you feel. Notice the quality of your breath. Notice your thoughts. So the truth is, we've all become more resilient. And we will continue to grow. As long as we stay open and truthful and keep a compassionate, loving heart for ourselves and everyone. For everyone. So when you're ready, reach your arms out wide. Lift your arms, lift your nose toward the sky, and draw your hands down to your beautiful, loving heart. Take your chin to your chest and bow to your own light. And take a moment to pause and send a good thought out into the world. May all beings be healthy and happy and loved. Thank you so much for practicing Satnam. Namaste. Have a good night. Yay, good job, you guys. Happy Tuesday. See you next week. Same time, same bat channel. Thank you, thank you. That was a great class. Thank you. My daughter just said it was a great class, so I appreciate that. All right, take care, you guys. Have a good night.